Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. It's still August the 12th. I'm doing the show for tomorrow. There are 4 games in the W, ton of action. Some of the lines are moving already. I got some strong opinions and I got some not so strong opinions. So we're going to jump into it. As far as the night goes, I didn't bet Dallas and Indiana. Little funny business going on, right? Line opens at 6, moves all the way to 9.5. Enrique gets ruled out. And Dallas looks like the greatest thing since sliced bread. Look like the Dallas Mavericks with Luka, Kyrie, AD, Bron, you name it, right? So stayed away from that game, especially with Enrique being ruled out. But did lean Indiana, and they are getting smoked. Also want to take the Sparks. I talked about that in the early morning show, but I haven't bet that quite yet. Got a few minutes to figure that out as well. I did see I think Kennedy Birch was like, available if necessary. Like it's a lot going on in the W, boy. I'm trying to tell you, but let's jump into the games for tomorrow, man. So we'll start off with no recap for me. We'll start off with Jackson, your sports betting AI tool. Jax, I don't have an update on the player props for tonight's game quite yet, but as far as tomorrow, 2 looks for Jackson. First, we'll go to let's see. Best player prop for tomorrow, Ryan Howard, over her 11.5 points for the Atlanta Dream. It says Ryan Howard will it says she's demonstrated a strong scoring ability. After her points prop is another excellent, and her points prop is another excellent over candidate for tomorrow's game. Her recent performance, she's been consistently exceeding this line over a significant sample. She's hit the over 80% of her last 10 games, 18.8 points, and 80% of her last 15 games, averaging 16.2. Her season average of 15.9 is also well comfortably over the line of 11.5, and she has a 70% hit rate to the over on the season. Head-to-head dominance, she's been particularly effective against the Seattle Storm in her single game against them this season. She scored 33 points, hitting the over 100% of the time. Looking back at last season, she also hit the over in 100% of her 2 games against Seattle, averaging 21 points per game. The Storm ranks 6th against points, indicating a relatively strong defense. However, Howard's exceptional historical performance against them, combined with her over for the season average, suggests that she can overcome this defensive ranking. So recommending Ryan Howard over her 11.5 points. Now, keep in mind this will be her second game back. We'll see, man. They will be without Jordan Canada, which we'll talk about in just a second. But take Ryan Howard over is what Jackson likes. As far as next player prop, actually comes in that same game. Nneka Ogwumike over her 15.5 points. This line is minus 125. It looks like on Caesars, but definitely shop around, see if you can get a better number if you like this player prop. So Nneka is the primary scoring option for Seattle, and her points prop is a strong play, especially considering her home performance and recent form. So her recent performance, she's consistently hitting the over on this line, 60% of her last 5 games, averaging 20.5 points, 70% hit rate over her last 10 games, averaging 20.1, season-long average of 17.91 points, also comfortably over the 15.5 with the 62.5% hit rate. So this has gone over a lot more than it's going under. Home court advantage playing at the crib this season. Nneka's been particularly dominant, hitting the over 87% of her home games, averaging 19.1. Okay, Nneka. It says this is a significant factor for tomorrow's home game against the Dallas Dream in 2025-2026. Nneka also hit the over 100% of her 2 games against them, averaging 20 points. This demonstrates her ability to score efficiently against his opponent. And then you got matchup analysis. So the Dream's defense ranks 4th against points, indicating a very strong defensive unit. However, Ogwumike's consistent scoring, dominant home performance, and perfect record against the Dream this season make her a compelling over pick despite the tough matchup. So take Nneka Ogwumike over her 15.5 points, and same game, take Ryan Howard over her 11.5 points. You get a super low line because, of course, like I said, it's just a second game back. So those are the 2 looks for Jackson. Let's jump into the 4 games for tomorrow. Hit the like button for me if you can. Run them likes up. Let's see if we can find some winners for tomorrow, man. So first up, we got the Chicago Sky and the Connecticut Sun, a game that I want absolutely nothing to do with. So we'll be here for just a second. Did want to share my notes with you guys. I wouldn't bet this game. If I was going to bet it, I probably would be betting on Connecticut. I know that sounds gross, but I think that they did open as a 1.5 point favorite. They're up to 2.5, and I agree. Chicago will be without Angel Reese again, and they're putrid right now. Ariel Atkins listed as probable. I didn't see anybody on the injury report for Connecticut. I'm expecting Tina Charles to return tomorrow after resting that last game against the Valkyries. She wasn't. They were playing on the second leg of a back-to-back after losing to the Aces the night before. And then Haley Van Lith is also listed as probable for the Chicago Sky as well. So Chicago, I mentioned them being absolutely trash. They are 1-9 against the spread in their last 10 games. This is terrible. The only team that they beat was the Mystics. And then they lost 2 more games since they beat the Mystics as well. They do have a 2-day rest advantage in this spot. They haven't played since Saturday. Connecticut Sun, of course, coming back home. After a 4-game Western Conference road trip, they've lost 5 in a row. And they failed to cover 3 in their last 4 as well. They got the cover against the Aces, but failed to cover against the Valkyries on their second leg of a back-to-back without Tina Charles. But what this really comes down to is 2 teams that I don't trust either one of them. I think, watching Chicago play, they just look so disoriented. I feel like Connecticut just doesn't have a lot of talent. They may have enough talent to win this game, though, especially if, you get Marina Mabry against her old team and she's out there knocking down some shots. Like, this is a game I do think Connecticut could win. Am I laying points for Connecticut? Absolutely not. Do I think they're the right side? Because I'm not taking Chicago even as a dog against Connecticut. It's actually kind of funny that Connecticut is the worst team in the WNBA and is still favored against the Chicago Sky. And money's coming in to back them as well. This is the second meeting of the season. Chicago did win the first one. They covered that meeting as well. They actually smoked the Connecticut Sun 78-66. That game did go under the total of 157.5. I think this one could potentially go up and over, though. Like, this one, these are 2 defenses that I don't trust. I don't trust Connecticut offensively, but against Chicago's defense, why not? And I think the Chicago, potentially could be able to score as well. Their offense has really struggled without Angel Reese since she went down. They've actually failed to score 80 points in 9 of their last 10 games. And they've played 5 straight under. 7 of their last 10 have gone under the total as well. But I can't play under between 2 really, really poor defenses. You see them on the screen, 12th and 13th, both in offense and defense and in net rating. It's a trash game, man. I wouldn't bet anything in this game at all. I will tell you guys. So I looked at a couple over trends. Chicago 7-2 to the over if they're a road dog of less than 10 points, because typically they're 9 times so far this season. They've been getting points on the road. So their games typically go over if they are a shorter road dog. And then for Connecticut, they're 5-1 to the over if they're a home dog of less than 10, because typically they're getting double digits at home. So the 6 times that they've been a single digit home dog, they've actually went up and over in 5 of those 6 games. Player prop wise, I would look at Marina Mabry. I'll just put it on the screen real quick so you guys can see it. But I think Mabes could potentially be a good player prop look in this game, and then we'll move over to the next one. I want to show you guys what I saw when I was looking at Marina Mabry. If I'm betting on Marina Mabry, I'm only betting on her 3-point prop to go up and over. The number is 2.5. It is plus money right now. I think you can get it as high as plus 130. Also, I think Marina Mabry assists could potentially be there as well. This is a Chicago defense that really, really struggles. So I can see her getting the 4 assists as well. 3.5 is plus 125 as well. I considered that, but 3-point prop a little bit more than anything else. So 2.5 is a number. You see that she did hit 0 against the Golden State defense the other day. This was the second leg of a back-to-back after playing, 33 minutes against the Aces the night before. But the 2 games before that, you can see that she hit 5 in back-to-back games against the Aces and against the Sparks. And no other team in the WNBA allows more 3-point makes. Here you go right there, top right corner right here, 13th in 3-pointers allowed. We know that Chicago guards the 3-point line with their eyes closed. So, yeah, I think Mabry will continue to get the looks up. She's taken 6+ attempts in 6 straight games. If you come down here, look at that. 10, 6, 10, 7, 7, 10, 13, and 6. So, yeah, she should be able to get there. She's also so in those games, where she's taken at least 7 attempts this season, she's actually over in 12 of her 19 games, good for 63%, up and over the 2.5 3-point make. So that's something that I consider that is definitely on the short list, and not touching anything else. Not touching anything else in this game. May not even play that, but that would be my top look in this game. Marina Mabry up and over on her 3-point prop. And then I guess if I had to play it, I would lay with Connecticut, but boy, that sounds like a terrible thing to do. Next game up is the Valkyries and the Mystics. I like this one a lot. So couple different ways. So first, we look at the injury report. Shakir Austin is on it for the Washington Mystics after missing that last game against the Dallas Wings. And then Kate Martin is also on it for the Golden State Valkyries. Of course, they won't have Kayla Thornton. And Monique Billings will continue to be out as well. As far as I think Monique Billings will continue to be out. So we look at this Valkyries team. They're coming off back-to-back wins. They beat the Sparks. They beat the Connecticut Sun. Back-to-back covers as well. They covered both of those games at home. This is their first game on the East Coast after four games, on the West Coast. And they're currently in 7th place, but are only a game ahead of Seattle and a game and a half ahead of the Sparks for the final playoff spot. So they need to win. I say all that to say that the Valkyries absolutely need to win. Everything is getting super tight at the bottom, at a playoff seeding as we kind of, dwindle down to the end of the season. You look at the Mystic side of things, their first game back home after a 4-game road trip as well, where they finished just 1-3. But they did cover the last 2 spreads after losing to Chicago in an abysmal game when Brittany Sykes got traded. Washington is 1.5 games behind the Storm, who currently hold the 8th and final playoff spot. So they also need to win this game if they're going to make the playoffs. But the more I think about the Mystics, and especially with the trades, it kind of feels like the writing is on the wall for them, especially, just given this season, right? Like you think about trading Leah Edwards, so you get rid of some depth. And you not that she was old, but you bring in another defensive guard. And then you also trade Brittany Sykes, the leader of your team for a draft pick. For me, I think it's pretty clear that the writing is on the wall. I don't really think the Mystics want to make the playoffs. I think they're trying to build for the future. They have a lot of great young talent over there. So I like the Valkyries in the game from that perspective. I also think the Valkyries are the better of the 2 teams. This line's not moving the way that I think it should move. You can get a +2.5 right now. No, my fault. You can get a +1. It is moving the way that I thought it was. So it's still +2. It looks like it's the consensus, but this line is coming down to 1.5, down to 2. Just depends on where you're shopping. So Washington does have double revenge in this spot, and one of the faults that I've made a lot this season is kind of taking these teams in these revenge spots. It has not worked out well. Exhibit A, the Washington Mystics. Golden State won the first meeting in Golden State all the way back on May the 21st, one of their first home games in Ball Arena. They were 5-point dogs in that game. Then they went to DC, which was more recent, on the 31st, and they won as a 4-point dog. They won that game by 1. Both games were under the total of 162 and 155. This total is already dropping. Open 151. It's all the way down to 148.5. I see on a couple books, and I do expect it to continue to get lower. If you trust the Valkyries, you probably want to take the Washington Mystics team total under. If you think that they can, bring that defense on the road, which I kind of feel like they can. The Mystics have the Valkyries have been just an under team as well. Their offense really, really struggles. They played in 3 straight unders. 6 of their last 7 games have gone under. 8 of their last 10 have actually stayed under the total. Both teams bottom 4 in pace. Golden State, the slowest pace team in the WNBA, of course, and the Washington Mystics 9th in pace. But like I said, if I'm playing the game, I want the Valkyries. I want the Valkyries plus the points. I do think that they're going to win the game outright. Last 5 game stats showed that, Golden State's the better offensive team, defensive team. They're averaging more assists. Washington is slightly better in rebounding the basketball. But Washington has struggled to take care of the basketball. Last 5 games, they actually have the 3rd worst turnover percentage and 3rd worst in offensive rebound rate as well. So I think that neutralizes some things for the Valkyries. If the Mystics aren't grabbing a bunch of offensive rebounds, I do think that they're going to be able to struggle to score in this game. I looked at a couple trends. So the Mystics are 1-5 against the spread this season when they are laying points at the crib. 1-5 in their last 6 games laying points at the crib. So it's a home favorite. Most recently, the last time they were laying points at home, they lost to the Valkyries. Back on the 31st. Like I said, they were laying 4 in that game. They lost by 1. Valkyries have played well against teams that they've beaten already this season. So when teams have played against the Valkyries and they've lost, they have not done well the next game either. The Valkyries are 6-3 if they've beaten you already one time this season. 6-3 straight up, 7-2 against the spread. Could be a credit to Coach Natalie Nakase, getting her girls to ready to play even on the second go around. So I do like the Golden State Valkyries in this game. On the opposite side of that, you look at the Mystics, they're 2-7 in revenge spots this season. And if they're favorite in the revenge game, they're 0-2 straight up and against the spread. This also points to the Golden State Valkyries. I think the Valkyries are the better team. I think, if the game comes down to it, I think I trust them to get a stop way more than I trust the Mystics offense to be able to score. I mean, you can see the Mystics offense is 11 rated over the full season. And they could potentially, be without Shakira Austin. I don't even think I wrote that down, but Shakira Austin didn't play in that last game. She also may not be available. And that, of course, makes it a little bit tougher for the Valkyries as well. So, I expect the Valkyries to be able to get a stop if they need to in this game and win this game. Also couldn't talk anybody off the first half. The Valkyries are I think one of the best first half, if not the best, one of the best first half teams in the WNBA. They're a plus a half a point tomorrow in the first half on FanDuel, minus 113 odds. Makes a lot of sense because I think they're 9-3-2 against the spread in the first half. If they ever let go of the rope, it's typically in the first half. So I like Golden State tomorrow. I do like Golden State a lot. Probably going to end up betting Golden State. Tiffany Hayes over her points, rebounds, and assists, just kind of combining all of them together, doing some deep analytical work. And Tiffany Hayes is in a really good spot. I think without Kayla Thornton being there, her minutes have kind of gone up just a little bit over her last. So in the 16 games this season where she's played at least 26 minutes, she's over her points, rebounds, and assists in 14 to 16 games. That's a nice hit rate. I use 26 minutes because on the full season, that's how many she's averaged. Even though over her last 5 games, she's averaging 29 minutes. So I think not Veronica Burton. I think Tiffany Hayes in a really good spot to go out there and contribute, whether she's dishing the ball because her assist is at 3.5 and she's gone over that number a lot recently as well, or scoring the ball. She's somebody that can stretch the floor. The Mystics aren't the greatest 3-point defense. So I like Tiffany Hayes if I'm betting a player prop tomorrow in that game. All right, let's keep it moving. Next game up is the Aces and the Liberty. So at the time of the recording of this video, the Liberty game hasn't started yet, but I like the Aces already. I don't think they're going to have anybody on the injury report. I talked about this on the show that I did earlier today because the Liberty, of course, will be on the second leg of a back-to-back. We'll see how that game goes, but I don't think the line's going to get any more favorable for the Liberty. I think the line will continue to get bigger for the Aces. So you look at this Liberty team, outside of them, being on the first leg of a back-to-back tonight, they go into this game tonight just 7-7 straight up on the road. They've been really, really struggling, even though they are still tied right now for second overall. They're just 2-11-1 against the spread on the road. And the Aces, finally, I've talked about this for a while now, but they're putting it together, right? They've quietly won 4 in a row. They've won 6 of their last 7 of their last 10 games as well. And they have major rest advantage in this spot. They haven't played since Sunday when they beat Connecticut. They haven't had to travel, third straight home game. It sets up really, really well for the Aces to be able to come in here and get the job done. They also had double-digit revenge in this spot, right? They lost on ring night for the Liberty in New York. Then they went back on July 8th. They lost that game by 9. It's a 4.5-point road dog. That was the game that Asia ended up getting hurt. They were competing before Asia got hurt. She only played 14 minutes in that game. And New York they had Stewie. They had Kennedy Burke, they had Sabali, and they won't have any of those ladies tomorrow. Well, we'll see if Kennedy Burke plays, but add to the list, Isabel Harris is also out for this game due to concussion protocol. I don't think she's going to be back tomorrow either. They do have Emma Mieseman, but I think the Liberty lose tomorrow. I do think that they lose. A couple things that kind of push me there. I looked at home favorites who are playing their third straight home game versus an opponent that's unrested. And over the whole Give Me the Dog database, those teams were 17-9 straight up. That's 65%. And this season, 3-0 straight up and against the spread. So I know that's not the biggest sample size, but I think that that's applicable for this game. I also looked at favorites after the All-Star break during regular season games only with more rest than their opponent in the last 5 games and less travel than their opponent in the last 5 games because the Liberty – even though they've been playing against some questionable opponents, I know they played Dallas 3 times recently, Connecticut 2 times recently, got smoked by the Lynx at home. And of course, playing the Sparks tonight, even though, all that's happened, they've been, kind of back and forth all over the place. That the query that I'm telling you guys is about an 81.6% win rate since 2018. And those teams are covering about 59.5% as well in that same time frame. So I do like the Aces tomorrow. Money line is minus 140. It was minus 135 a little earlier on Bet365. That's what I like in that game. As much as I like the Aces, I almost want to fade Asia Wilson. I know she's coming off a stellar game. I know the Liberty defense is not greatest on the road, but with Jacquel being back, we'll see how many minutes she gets in this game tomorrow based on what happens tonight against the Sparks. But kind of want to fade Asia. She has not done well in her matchups against the New York Liberty, and I do think a big part of that is because Jacquel Jones one of the better one of the better centers in the WNBA. So, maybe it's Jewel Lloyd will have a big game, or Jackie Young, who continues to have big games. Maybe Chelsea Gray pulls a rabbit out of the hat and has a big game. But I do like the Aces tomorrow. I think they can get the job done. We'll see. Maybe I'll add some player. We'll see what the minutes looks like for this game. But Aces for me tomorrow is what I like in that game. Last but not least, the Atlanta Dream and the Seattle Storm. Do me a favor, man. If you didn't hit the like button for me, do that. I'm going to take a hydration break real quick. A little parched. All right. So Atlanta and Seattle. This line is, I think it's still 1. Let me just double check. I see money line -110 for Atlanta, -102 for Seattle. So Seattle is a 1.5 point dog on a couple books, a +1 on other books. Total looks like it is going up, and I agree with the total going up. This open 159 up to 160. I see a 160.5. Man, so Ryan Howard is probable for tomorrow. Jordan Canada has already been rolled out after leaving that last game against the Phoenix Mercury and not being able to return. So it's important to discuss seeding in this game as well. So both of these teams, and it's also important to discuss that there is a rematch that's going to happen in Atlanta on Friday. So these teams will meet up again on Friday in Atlanta. Both teams need this game for seeding purposes. Atlanta is currently in second place as of tonight, and they're in second place with the Libs. We'll see what happens with the New York Liberty tonight in that game with the Sparks. But and Seattle is absolutely free falling. They're in the last playoff spot, right? They're in 8th after playing so well earlier this season. Seattle is on a 5-game losing streak, and Atlanta is doing the opposite, 5-game winning streak for the Atlanta Dream. Atlanta is 10-7 straight up and against the spread on the road. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I really, really, really don't. I'm tired of like losing money betting against Atlanta. I've been betting against Atlanta thinking that they are shorthanded or they're going to let up, and you have not seen that. They've been a very, very consistent team as of late, and they haven't had many hiccups, man. They won 8 of their last 10. They've covered 7 of those as well, and they won 5 in a row. Like I said, 2 as a dog. This is the last of a 3-game road trip for them. And like I said, they play against the Seattle team again in Atlanta on Friday. And then you come over and you start looking at Seattle, straight dumpster fire. I can't bet the team. I don't really want to bet against them because I know that eventually they're going to win a game. But it's looked pretty bad for them, man. It's looked really, really bad for Seattle as of late. I'm just watching as Kessler Mitchell missed the game winner and Dallas ended up winning the game outright. It's WNBA is bananas, man. But anyway, getting back into this game, dumpster fire, that is the Seattle Storm. I'm not sure how long Noelle Quinn has left. They're 8-8 straight up at home now, just 5-11 against the spread in home games. They've lost 7 of their last 10. They've only covered 3 of those last 10. And like I said, they've lost 5 in a row. This is the third matchup of the season. The road team has won each matchup. Atlanta came into Seattle. I think I was on the wrong side. I was on Seattle in that game. It's a 5-point a 5-point road dog, and they won that game. Seattle went to Atlanta, got their revenge. I think it was a Skylar Diggins game winner. Won that game by 1 as a 1-point dog. And this will be matchup number 3. Seattle, I was kind of looking into Seattle, trying to figure out what is really going on with Seattle. And what I came up with is that their defense has really started to struggle. I'm not sure if Noelle Quinn traded for, Brittany Sykes because she wanted to make the offense go faster or what it was. But now, if you got a chance to watch the Sparks game, like Gabby Williams was on the bench in the fourth quarter and Erica Wheeler is on the bench in the fourth quarter. And I'm like, hold on, like these are the starters. Like we just gonna get the keys to Brittany Sykes like in her second game here. Like what are we doing here? But I can't bet on Seattle right now. I can't. So when I was going through the numbers, you look at their last 5 games specifically, they've been terrible defensively. This was a team that was hanging their hats on defense. They're 9th in defensive rating in the last 5 games, which is a lot worse than the 5th rated defense that we're accustomed to for the full season. To put some numbers to it, last 5 games, the defensive ranking is a 108. The defensive rating is a 108. On the full season, it's a 99.4. So they're much better defensively collectively over the season, but last 5 games, they've fallen off. They're a team that already doesn't get a lot of easy buckets. They shoot the fewest free throws in the WNBA. They grab the second fewest offensive rebounds, which has led to them scoring the second fewest second chance points as well. So Seattle's not a team that's going to do a lot to score. They're also the worst 3-point shooting team in the WNBA. Meanwhile, last 5 games for Atlanta, these are full game stats here, but second in offensive rating, second in defensive rating, third in points allowed, first in free throw rate, first in rebounding. It's difficult to bet against Atlanta, man. It seems super easy to take Atlanta in this spot, but that's the only way I would be able to bet it, man. I can't back Seattle. I cannot back Seattle. They will have to I would have to watch this game and not bet Atlanta and then say, oh, okay, that's what I was looking for from Seattle. But I can't blindly just take it, because when you can't beat the Sparks, and when you're struggling to beat some of these teams that Seattle have been beaten recently, especially after getting up by 15 points in the first quarter against the Sparks, I can't take you to beat the Dream out here beating the Mercury. So I can't take you to beat the Dream in this spot either. As far as the total goes, I did mention something about the over. So both meetings so far have gone up and over the total. The previous 2 from last season also went up and over the total. So the last 4 going back to last season and the 2 from this season have gone up and over the total. We typically see pretty low totals between these 2 teams, but the last 4 have all cleared 160, except the most recent one, which landed right on 159, and the total was 158.5. So it still ended up going over. Seattle has played in 4 of their last 5 games up and over the total. Like I said, the defense has kind of fallen off. They've allowed 90-plus points in 3 straight games. For their last 5 games, their opponents are just running up and down the floor. Now, Atlanta's a team that doesn't really – they can win games with their defense because they play so slow. This is the second slowest paced team in the WNBA on the full season, I think, over the last 5 games as well. But it's all about 3-point shooting. Like, if Atlanta gets hot from the 3-point line, they can run it up against anybody. And they got a bunch of people, a bunch of shooters out there. Naz Hillman is stretching the floor, knocking them down. Alicia Gray is out there absolutely balling. Like, there's so many. Pow probably gonna get some minutes, some extended run tomorrow with Jordan Canada being out. She's probably the best 3-point shooter as a rookie in the WNBA. Her and Sonia Citron. Like, it's a lot of ways for Atlanta to be able to score the basketball. So I do think that the game could go up and over. I think that the pace will be played a little bit faster, especially if Seattle gets a chance to kind of dictate it. But I'm not really sure if I'm gonna get there on the total either. It'd be Atlanta plus the Atlanta, money line, or Atlanta. Yeah, I would just take the money line if I was going to bet this game. As far as player props go in this one, Alicia Gray. I just kind of mentioned her name, but I think Alicia Gray is in a really good spot as well. If we go back to Outlier really quickly, see if I can pull this up for you guys. So Alicia Clark is, let's see. All right. So I don't know if I said this or not, but this is, I said Alicia Gray. This is Outlier. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check this out. So her points plus assists is what I was looking at, because I think without Jordan Canada being there, she'll be the main facilitator. You can see she's in pretty good form. She's over in 7 of her last 10 games, averaging 23.2, which is pretty nicely above this 20.5 number. Over in 5 straight that you can see here. Without Jordan Canada there, I'm thinking she's going to get even more usage. If Ryan Howard doesn't play, who's currently listed as questionable, she'll get even more usage. If Ryan Howard does play, she may still be on a minutes limit because it'll be a second game back. So I think Alicia Gray's playing like an MVP type candidate, man. She's absolutely hooping. These are her last 10 games. Her last 5, she's over, of course. Her last 20, she, 55% here as well. In the head-to-head, she went over in the first matchup, under in the second one. Just really not wanting to fade her. Not right now. Not with how much they need her offense in this game. So those are my thoughts on this game. It's really hard for me to get. I can't take Seattle. Like, Seattle's in a desperate team. You never really want to bet against a team that's in desperation, but Seattle's been desperation for a really long time. I'm not sure when it's going to happen, when they're going to, actually get a win. And it may not be until Noelle Quinn gets fired, honestly. It kind of feels like they've lost the locker room. Hearing stuff about Alicia Clark, who was traded from this team. because she requested a trade because of verbal altercations and things that were happening in the locker room. Like, Seattle stock is going, really, really quickly. So that's it for tomorrow. Looks that I talked about are here. I like Golden State. I like the Aces. I like Mabes over her 2.5 threes. Tiffany Hayes to get busy, and Alicia Gray as well. And then I would absolutely bet Seattle before I did anything. I would absolutely bet the Dream before I wanted to put my money on Seattle. I have to see it a little bit. And I do kind of lean Connecticut, man. It's the grossest thing I think I would ever play all season. I'm probably not going to get there, but that's the way that I would play that one, man. Best of luck, whatever you guys are playing today. I think I'm going to go put a little bit of money on the Sparks plus this 4.5. Catch you guys in the next one. Sign up link in the description. All the resources are here as well. Check them out. Hit the like button for me on the way out. I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. I'm out.